Hi everyone and welcome to another vlog. So this is, I guess, how am I gonna say this, like part 2 of Vlogmas. So today is Wednesday the 4th. If you caught the last video, I have just literally filmed the end clip of that. So just to recap you, this is where I'm at with the sleeve on this jumper. So I've not got too much longer to go by my calculations, but I haven't had him try this on yet, so we could be so far off. But my goal this evening is to maybe finish this sleeve if I possibly can, and then put this aside and go back to one of my other whips that I also need to finish until I can get him to try it on. I think I'm seeing him either Friday or Saturday, so there shouldn't be too much of a delay, but you don't need to know that anyway. But yeah, this is going to be the start of another video. I guess I'll update you later. It's nearly 10 o'clock, but I have fallen down a bit of a rabbit hole, so I thought that I would share with you since we're doing such frequent updates on the Vlogmas thing. But basically I'm at a length with this sleeve now that I don't want to keep going till I get him to try it on, because I got my brother to try it on and it looks like I'm like close enough to start the cuff, but we need to wait until boyfriend tries it on. So that's gone to the side. And then, so if you don't know, I've got a pattern coming out soon. So I have a couple patterns up on my Etsy and I'm going to take them all down because I'm not happy with them anymore. They came out like 4 years ago, okay, so bear with me. They're not as size inclusive as I would love. And also just the formatting. I was on my Google Doc and I looked at them and they actually just made me cringe so bad. I mean, luckily I have like an average 5-star rating on Etsy, so I don't think that they can be awful. Like, they are followable, but yeah, they're coming down anyway. So I'm having a new pattern come out, and then I, for next year, really want to write up some of my knit patterns, because every pattern that I've written has been crochet. So this cardie I think is going to be the first pattern that I release. I wasn't going to bother because I feel like it's just so basic, like there's so many similar things, but people seem to like it. It's just like a really simple raglan, but I basically, this knit in drops flora and the drops kid silk mohair, 2 strands of flora, 1 strand of the mohair. And so I basically, this I'm probably going to use as like the small or the medium, but I wanted to knit myself a second sample that's like just a little bit more oversized, a bit longer. And anyway, I've had this like other drops flora in stash for so long. Let me show you what it was originally, because I have shown it a few times on the channel. So like literally 2 years ago I had started knitting this cabled raglan, and oh, you can actually see it in this clip. I think you can't normally see it because basically I held it with a random cone of like this really fine boucle, and it's just like the stitch definition is so low because of the type of yarn that it is, that I felt that there was no point in continuing with the cable pattern. And I've been wanting to use this yarn combination for so long because it's actually really soft. Like the boucle is actually super soft once it's been knitted up into the flora. So I've had this for ages and I've gone back and forth on what I want to make with it, but I think that since this pattern is calling for a flora anyway, I think a like this cardigan in this colour would just be such a basic. I feel like I would get so much wear out of it, but obviously because it's using the boucle and also this other random really fine cone yarn, I don't know what it is, but it says cashmere on it, and so I would love if it was actually, it had a cashmere percentage, but we'll never know because it's the writing's in Chinese. Basically yeah, so I have started gauge swatching. That is what this whole tangent was, okay? So because I was stopping on my boyfriend's thing, and because I have decision paralysis on my other whip, which I do need to get to this weekend but not tonight, I thought that we could, well, that I could do a gauge swatch to see if I can hit gauge with these 4 strands of yarn instead of the 3 strands of yarn that I used for the first sample. I thought I had sat on this then, but I hadn't. So basically, a little while ago, which was actually in one of the podcasts, I did a gauge swatch that this is just one strand of the flora and one of each of the cones, because like I said, the ideas for this we have kind of come full circle with it. It was going to be a jumper, and then it was going to be a v-neck jumper, and then it was going to be a slip over, and then it was going to be a long sleeve polo, and now I think it's going to be the cardigan. Drops Flora is like one of probably the most budget friendly yarns out there, so I do not feel bad whatsoever using this yarn. And these cones are so massive that I actually think I might get multiple pieces out of them anyway. The boucle especially, because this is big and she is fine. But anyway, this was the original gauge swatch I had, and I've lost a sheet of paper with the notes on it, but I believe that this was a 4.5, and this cardigan that I'm making I did in 5.5. So I've just been working up a little gauge swatch on 5.5 needles in the same yarn, and luckily I could hit gauge. I didn't think it would be too much of a fast stretch, but I just wanted to check. I didn't know if it would be too bulky. I feel like it might be like a smidge over, because this hits gauge before blocking, but it doesn't tend to change that much after blocking anyway. We just wouldn't stretch it as much, so that seems to be all good to go. But anyway, the rabbit hole I'm down is now how to grade raglans. So obviously I've graded things before, but the thing with the raglan that I'm struggling with more is like the amount of rounds that you do per yoke, because obviously if you keep increasing the amount of rows that you do rapidly, the larger sizes end up with like really deep armholes that are maybe not the vibe that you're going for. And I have this book which is called the Knitting Pattern Writing Handbook, and basically in the back of it they have all of these like basically average size charts for men, women, kids, anyone and everyone of all ages, shapes, sizes, you know. So I've been looking at basically the measurements and like the positive ease and stuff that I'm using, and looking at grading it that way. But it's still just the depth that's getting me. So yeah, now I basically have gone down this rabbit hole of like how to basically calculate the raglan increase depth at like 10 o'clock at night on a work night. And the other thing as well is that like I would consider hiring a tech editor or grader, because I do have some other patterns that I want to release that are like very heavily cabled, like the cardigan I was wearing today, the grey one. I would like to write that up, and I've got some other things as well. And the thing with the cables is it's like, it's not so much the sizing, it's more the placement of the motifs. But yeah, all that to say, I am struggling, and I am now like dying to cast this on, but can't until I actually figure out how to successfully grade the whole pattern. So sad times, but I shouldn't be knitting on this anyway. But yeah, hope you enjoyed my rambles, and I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie, we might not include this clip because I'm literally in bed about to go to sleep, and it's like 10:30, nearly 11, and I was literally just like laying in bed and just thinking like just about the shop, like the online shop that I launched, like kind of in general. And I was just thinking like, oh, it's probably just like not a fluke, but obviously it was like the opening weekend. I was like, I don't really expect to get like that many more orders. I feel like there was maybe only like a handful of people that really wanted to get stuff, and like they've probably already like got them now. And I was like, I don't really know if I should do like another drop at some point. I don't know, just like I guess massive imposter syndrome above all else, and just thinking like is it good enough? Like, do people like my products enough? And like was just literally thinking about it, and then literally laying here, and then she got an order through. And like, I don't know why, it just made me like a little bit emotional, maybe. I don't even know why. Yeah, I just feel like I'm having really big imposter syndrome, and I feel like as well, as soon as I like struggle to do something, I guess it just makes me feel like I'm not good enough for every aspect of my online presence and like business and stuff. Like, I was just thinking about that pattern, and I was like, oh my god, like, why can I not get my head around how to grade a simple raglan? Like, what am I missing? And it's probably because I'm tired and I haven't even given it much thought. I've just thought about it, and my thought was, I need to learn how to do that. But like, the minute I was like, oh my god, like, I don't know how to do it, I just like spiral, and I'm like, oh, this shop's not good enough. But and then yeah, someone just bought something. But yeah, thank you so much. And like, the other thing as well, so basically nothing had sold in the denim, and nothing had sold, none of the mini box pouches had sold, and I was like, that's it, everyone hates those items, they will never sell. I've made all this stuff in denim and it will never sell, and I've made all these little mini box pouches and they won't sell. And then someone just literally bought a denim tote bag and a mini box pouch. So if that was you and you're watching this, you made me emotional before bedtime, but we love, thank you so much. And yeah, I don't know, this whole shop launch thing has just been, I think, emotionally overwhelming. Like, I haven't felt overwhelmed in terms of workload, because I love making the stuff, and then like, oh, I've had so much fun like packing all the orders and like being like a little small business girly, and like, this is literally like, I'm living my dream. But yeah, just overwhelmed emotionally. I feel like I had anticipated failure. I'd like hyped myself up for it to not go well, because that's just the kind of person I am. But yeah, love you all lots. I'm going to sleep because this is obviously tired ramblings. Maybe I will just include this for the absolute shits and gigs. So good night, everyone. Okay, so morning guys, it's Thursday and I'm wearing this cardigan to work. I was gonna wear my granny square jacket, but yesterday, what was I wearing yesterday? No, not yesterday, the day before, when I was wearing that jumper, the cream and black one, because it's got wide sleeves, it was literally like driving me insane, because it kept like, I don't know, getting in the way as I was working. And this is the one that I did that had thinner sleeves, but it's still a little bit wide for work. So literally for that reason, I'm just going with this cardigan. And yeah, obviously the sleeves are pretty normal. Just about to open my advent calendar. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and then yeah, go to work. So it's Thursday night, thank God, because I don't have work tomorrow, and I think I feel as rough as I look, but I actually just can't be asked. So can you hear the rain? But no, basically this morning I was like, oh my god, I don't have a whip to take to work with me, because I need to wait for my boyfriend's thing and etc etc. I was like, I need something to take, but I didn't have anything on the go. So I don't know if you guys have watched anything on the channel before, but I made this sock a little while ago and I hadn't made a second one. So my thought process was, easy peasy, I'll just take the yarn and we'll make a second sock, right? But for some reason, it wasn't where it was meant to be this morning. And I'll just show you. I pulled everything out to try and find this one ball of yarn. Every single box of yarn that I own, my entire wardrobe. I pulled all the drawers out of my chest of drawers. I lifted the bed up, everything, could not find this ball of yarn. Anyway, managed to then find it. It had fallen behind something in the wardrobe. So I have started on my second sock. This is how far we've got, which is not very. This is using the Summerly sock project book. This is just the heel flap and gusset sock pattern. It's like literally the first one in the book. But now I have this absolute horrendous mess to deal with, and I just can't be asked. I can't believe I did this. It was like, I was already late. I meant to leave at 7:30 and it was getting towards 8 o'clock, and I was like, I can't leave without this ball of yarn. Like, where could it possibly be? So I found it and I've started the second sock. But now I have to clean up all of the mess that I've made, and it's absolutely torrential downpouring with rain. I don't know if you can actually hear it, but it's freezing cold. And do you know what? Look, now this is caught on something as well. Do you know what? Yeah, this week has just not been my week, which is fine. In terms of like my actual job, like, I like my job, but there's just external factors. But in other news, the shop launch is still going super well, so I love you guys, for real. You're actually keeping me going this week. And I have now got to sort out this horrific shit tip that I have left myself with, and this is unfortunately just who I am. I think I tidy my room like every day or 2 days, and there's just always stuff that accumulates, and it's all materials. It's always fabric or yarn. It's never like personal items. But this is what happens when your bedroom is your studio and your studio is your bedroom, and it's small. But yeah, I'm not really complaining. I'm just annoyed that I have to clean up my room and that I couldn't find it, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. But yeah, so that's currently what I'm working on, is that sock. Okay guys, so good morning. It is Friday now, and I feel like I'm a little bit less erratic than I was last night. It's like, what is the time? It's like 10 o'clock. I've just been chilling in bed and knitting a little bit more on this sock this morning. It's actually sunny today. It is actually not raining and not grey, which is lush, but I feel like I sound tired because I have not yet spoken today. But yeah, I've basically finished the cuff on this sock, and I've just started on the heel flap at the back. So these are the heel flap and gusset ones. This is the book, the Summerly sock project book. She basically just goes through like from the very beginning how to make like really basic socks, and then essentially I think it just gets more advanced the more you go through, and like introduces more techniques like color work and like cables, lace, that sort of thing. So my goal is just to make my way through it, because I do have 52 weeks of socks, but I felt a little bit intimidated to jump straight into that because I'd never even knit a pair of vanilla socks before. But yeah, I feel like I'm making good progress on this, considering I literally started this on my lunch break yesterday. We've got a whole cuff, and this yarn, if you're wondering, is the opal sock yarn. I'm not sure exactly what colour, but it's like a kind of pinky toned red. So yeah, obviously this is the one that's fully complete. The only thing is, I think I might have lost the piece of paper that I'd written exactly how many rounds I did for the like foot section, so I'm hoping that I can find that. But I think I've decided that I'm gonna end the video here looking like this, because I kind of don't want these like Vlogmas videos to be too long. So I know I said I was gonna do like Sunday to Wednesday or Thursday, and then whatever day to Sunday, like half weeks, but I think I'm just gonna kind of go for a couple of days until I have about like 20 minutes ish of footage, just so that yeah, I can upload more and just keep them kind of short and sweet. And yeah, basically because today's Friday, I'm off, and I did actually clean my room last night, so I'm very relieved about that. But I want to do a deep clean. I need to wrap up to orders that have come in this week and go to the post office, and I think I'm gonna finish wrapping all my Christmas presents and go put them under the tree, because we get a real tree. We've only done it for a couple of years, but my mum and my stepdad went and got the tree, so that's up. And then yeah, this weekend will probably be like a self-contained thing, because I feel like I don't anticipate to film as much on weekdays, because obviously I do work, but I somehow have ended up with quite a long amount of footage, I think just because I was basically rambling about being emotional with the shop launch. But yeah, but because I'm obviously off for the next few days, I feel like there might be a little bit more. And the other thing that I want to do is I want to try and start grading my raglan, which is really exciting. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that that's the next pattern that I want to release. And yeah, I really want to sit down and give it a go. So I think that's the plan for today. So that will be the next video. I'm going to jump in the shower and then start filming that one. So if you made it to the end, then thank you so much. Obviously, if you want to see more from me, don't forget to subscribe and like and all that good stuff. Obviously, it really helps. And yeah, I will link the website down below. Obviously, I feel like I don't have much to compare it to, but I feel like I have had quite a good launch, and yeah, just been really overwhelmed with everyone's support, but there is still some stuff left. So if you wanted to grab yourself anything, they are one-offs, one of a kinds. There's no more of the fabric, so once it sells, that is it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.